You also, state and local governments are really flush these days with money, and many of them are considering tax cuts or even sending checks. So I think that's going to support. They're also spending a lot. There's a lot of spending coming in the construction pipeline, both private and public, and so that's going to support economic activity. So I think there's a good chance that those factors will help support positive growth this year, and that's my base case is that there will be positive growth this year.
You never want a serious crisis to go to waste. And what I mean by that, it's an opportunity to do things that you think you could not do before.
Never waste a good crisis. And when it comes to the economic crisis, don't waste it.
One of the changes in the statement this month is that the committee is no longer listing public health as among the data points you'll consider in assessing conditions. What should we make of that? Does the Federal Reserve no longer see the pandemic as weighing on the economy?
That's the general sense of it. Look, we understand. I personally understand well that COVID is still out there, but that it's no longer playing an important role in our economy. And we kept that statement in there for quite a while, and I think we knew we would take it out at some point. There's never a perfect time, but we thought that people are handling it better, and the economy and the society are handling it better now. It doesn't really need to be in the Fed's monthly or post-meeting statement as an ongoing economic risk, as opposed to a health issue.
Yeah. Will the Fed do what Treasury directs as it relates to making payments, or will it do its own analysis of any legal constraints?
So you're really asking about, you're asking about prioritization in effect. Is what
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I feel like I have to say this. There's only one way forward here, and that is for Congress to raise the debt ceiling so that the United States government can pay all of its obligations when due. And any deviations from that path would be highly risky, and that no one should assume that the Fed can protect the economy from the consequences of failing to act in a timely manner. In terms of our relationship with the Treasury, we are their fiscal agent, and I'm just going to leave it at that.
Are you actively doing any planning of what might happen in the event that would happen?
I'm just going to leave it at that. This is a matter that's to be resolved between it's really Congress's job to raise the debt ceiling, and I gather there are discussions happening, but they don't involve us. We're not involved in those discussions, so we're the fiscal agent. We're going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box provided to you by the People's Bank of China.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And guys, please like and subscribe if you do like what you're listening to. Inform your friends and family and spread all over social media. It is imperative that we get back to learning finances and understand how the world really works, because once we understand how the world really works, we understand that it is all planned out. Now, I want to thank those who purchased the books Cryptoteacher and the New World Order book. The New World Order book is going to show you how the world really works. And it's definitely time for you to wake up out of that sleep, especially in the times that we're in right now. I told you at the beginning of the year, in the first quarter of 2022, we was going to have an event that was going to bring us down. And then also in the fourth quarter, we would have an event that would bring us down. That's exactly what happened. And now I'm going to tell you, in the first quarter, we're going to have an event that's going to bring us down in 2023. And then also in the fourth quarter of 2023, we're going to have another main event. Now, of course, guys, the markets are still going to be pumping and dumping until they get ready to pull the full rug. But I'll let you know when that's about to happen. Now, also, I want to thank those who purchased the 3 kids' books. It's time to get re-educated. And also, much love to those who donate to the Cash Shop and Patreon. And in my Patreon, I keep you up to date with the New World Order events. Also, I give you the New World Order cryptos in the Patreon. Of course, you have to do your own research. But this next bull run is going to be a utility run. So you want to make sure that you have the cryptos that have utility. And much love to those who are shopping at both stores. Keep it coming. And of course, guys, we get into Bitcoin and cryptos first.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
And guys, we had Jerome in the house yesterday. And he said something very important that no one caught. I put it on my thumbnail. I was going to put it in the video last night, but because the video was so long, I decided to save it for today. But we had Bitcoin, cryptos, and stocks pumping. We know why stocks and cryptos went up. Only thing we had to do was watch the yield rates and watch the dollar. We know the indicators do not lie. But don't forget, guys, in crypto, we have open interest. When we look at CME, we clearly see it's not a lot of volume, but we definitely see open interest is still high. Now, don't forget to pay attention to the actual indicators. We had yield rates, which were lowered yesterday when the stock market opened up, went up as Jerome was speaking. They plunged down, and we saw stocks and cryptos get a pump. And then what we also saw, guys, we saw the dollar hit $1. It almost hit 99 cents. But then move back up. So we see the dollar is moving in a range. It's definitely weak now. And then also we see yield rates are moving in a range. So I definitely see yield rates rising next week because cryptos and stocks, when you saw the dollar and yield rates drop that low, we definitely should have received a bigger pump than we got. And then also what I go over my stock channel is the VIX. And I'll go over that in a stock video. But the VIX will let you know when turbulence is ahead. Right now it's calm. But guys, the last time we had calm like this, there was a storm coming. But also, guys, we have volume, we have Tether, we have USDC. And then, of course, we have the Fed. Repo still over $2 trillion. They're running off the balance sheet. And, of course, they raised rates 25 basis points. We had the ECB raise 50 basis points. We had the BOE raise 50 basis points today. And then plus the ECB has mapped out how they're going to be rolling off the balance sheet. Remember, guys, the goal is to destroy this legacy market so the fourth industrial revolution can rise. And while the masses sleep, they build. And what did Jerome state? That these states have plenty of money, and we know why. So they can build this fourth industrial revolution. Not just in the private sector. And that's the reason why my video last night on the thumbnail, I state that Jerome is ready to pull the trigger on the fourth industrial revolution. In my Patreon, I had put an article of McDonald's saying all the stores that they're going to be building, but it's not going to be customer facing. It's going to be all automation. And they refuse to say how many employees they were going to hire because they're not going to hire any employees. Yes, the builders are going to make money, and we know soon that's going to be done by 3D printers. And also, Jerome talked about the C word. It just magically disappears, guys, and we know the central banks are the master magicians. And we saw bond yields get dropped. We saw the dollar drop, and we see stocks and cryptos get the benefit, especially the NASDAQ and also gold. But guys, they're clearly showing us the hand of what's going to happen. And I put that in the video last night. Guys, the world reserve currency has already ended. We just have the Fed just propping it up. And we know Janet Yellen is not funding these retirement accounts. She's putting the liquidity back into the market. So we know why all of a sudden on January 19th, the U.S. is running out of money. And remember, the NWO has Janet Yellen and Gary Gensler as their chess pieces to get us moved over to the fourth industrial revolution. And she gives them enough time to kick the can down the road for the next crisis. And this is like deja vu in 2020. We see a George Floyd type incident. We see Al Sharpton, which is a red flag. We see the Vice President of the United States speaking about it, which is a red flag. Guys, unfortunately, this happens all the time. The Vice President doesn't come and speak. We know this is all part of a plan. And then all of a sudden now we have the Middle East is back in chaos. And we know what always follows: a master distraction. And guys, do not keep your eye off of the fourth industrial revolution. All these moving pieces are just a distraction to get us over to the agenda. Whether robots, algorithms, and drones take over the economy, pay each other with crypto, and the sheep go inside the metaverse, get that free money airdrop to them. They have 3 to 6 months to spend it, or poof, it's gone. And while they're in the metaverse, they're going to be downloaded. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. Now, guys, do not forget about Grayscale, sitting about $20.5 billion. But getting over into a little crypto news, we have South African grocery retailer Pick and Pay to accept Bitcoin in 1,628 stores. And we know the emerging markets are leading the digital transformation, and we're starting to see the QR codes become big in the U.S. They're moving the masses over without them even knowing. Now, speaking of the emerging markets, and we know we always get negative news out of the emerging markets, but guys, we have Reliance Retailer, India's largest retail chain, will accept digital rupee, of course, the CBDC for India. And we're starting to see the rise of the BRICS nations. Now we have banking startup Levelfield aims to become the first FDIC-insured institution to offer crypto services along with legacy services by an FDIC-insured borrowing bank. And guys, we know the big major banks in the United States have been invested in Bitcoin and crypto from the beginning. All you have to do is look at the funding round. And lastly, guys, we have the metaverse, preserving and reinvesting music festival legacy in the metaverse. And a lot of these musicians right now are selling their catalogs, not knowing that these record companies are going to reinvent them in the metaverse, where they're going to be paying them 100 times what they paid them for their catalog. But we know these artists are not conscious. They're not looking at the fourth industrial revolution. And speaking of the metaverse, we have Facebook Meta. Of course, all you hear about on the media is that they're going to be doing buybacks, the stock pumps. But what they don't say is that Facebook Meta wins in court when it comes to acquisitions of other virtual reality companies. And the FTC were trying to fight them. But we know really they weren't trying to fight them. We know this is all part of the Hegelian dialectic. That's the reason why the stock pumped. Because remember, they've been losing money when it comes to the metaverse. Probably over $25 billion. But now that the court has won in their favor, unless the FTC tries to appeal it, now they can buy up these companies and move this metaverse on along. So therefore, they can accept the sheep. And remember, the crypto teacher told you, because he knows when it comes to the New World Order, it's all planned out. But that's all I have for you. Don't forget about the books, Crypto Teacher and the New World Order book, plus the 3 kids' books. It's time to re-educate. Also, if you're new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance, do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get on stocks, the Seaver, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing they were still getting that free money, what are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller says